Most people over 60 are told the same thing when they worry about falling. Just be careful and hold on to something. It sounds sensible. It sounds safe. But here is what nobody tells you. Being careful alone does not protect your independence because carefulness is not a skill your body can practice. It is only a warning, and a warning cannot catch you when your foot slips on a wet floor. The truth is that balance is a trainable ability, exactly like strength, and it fades only when we stop asking our body to use it. Here is the observation that rehabilitation clinics see every single day. The people who fall are rarely the ones who move too much. They are the ones who slowly stopped standing on one foot, stopped reaching, stopped shifting their weight until the body simply forgot how. Falls are now the leading cause of injury for adults over 65, and most of them happen at home, on flat, familiar ground. So here is what I promise you today. 5 balance exercises you can do at your own kitchen counter, plus the one insight that most 12-minute appointments never have time to explain. And the number one exercise on this list is something almost nobody talks about. Stay with me until the end, because that one can change how you approach the next 10 years of your life. Let me tell you why your doctor probably never showed you these. A standard appointment lasts about 12 minutes. In that time, your doctor has to review your medications, check your blood pressure, look at any new complaints, and update your chart. There is no time left to get you out of the chair and actually watch how you move. So balance, which is the single biggest predictor of whether you stay in your own home, gets reduced to 3 words. Be more careful. It is not that your doctor does not care. It is that the system was never built to teach movement in a hallway with the door already half open. I am not here to sell you a supplement or scare you into a course. This channel exists to give you the science a 12-minute appointment never has time to cover. No pills, no fear, no gimmicks. Just the mechanisms and the exact practice that keep you steady on your own 2 feet. And this matters because balance is independence, the ability to stand from a chair, step over a garden hose, turn around in the kitchen without reaching for the wall. That is the difference between living in your own home and needing someone there to help you do it. Every exercise today maps to that one goal, staying the person who helps, not the person who needs help. So tell me in the comments where you are watching from and your age. If you are over 60, and standing in a kitchen right now, put your hand on that counter. That is your training partner for the next 20 minutes. Now, please do not skip this next part. It is the key to everything that follows. Balance is not one thing. It is a constant conversation between 3 systems: your inner ear, your eyes, and the sensors in your feet and joints. Your brain blends all 3 signals to know where your body is in space. When one signal weakens, a healthy system leans on the other 2. Think of it like a table with 3 legs. When one leg gets a little short, the table can still stand steady if the other 2 are strong and planted. But if you never use the table, all 3 legs slowly weaken together, and then even a small bump tips it over. Your counter work reawakens those legs. It tells your inner ear, your eyes, and your feet to start talking to each other again, on purpose, in a safe place where you cannot fall. This is why the exercises work when careful does not. Careful asks your brain to worry. Training asks your body to remember. If this is already making sense to you, tap the like button so more seniors can find it. Let us begin the countdown at number 5. The feet together, stand with eyes closed. This is the simplest looking exercise on the list, and it quietly tells you more about your balance than almost anything else. It removes your eyes from the equation, so your inner ear and your feet have to do the work alone. Here is the mechanism. When your eyes are open, they do most of the balancing for you, borrowing against the other 2 systems. Close them, and you force the sensors in your feet and ankles to wake up and report. Remember the 3-legged table. This exercise is you testing and strengthening the leg you lean on least. It is like turning off the lights in a familiar room and learning to trust your feet to find the way. Balance research from institutions studying aging has consistently shown that the ability to stand steady without vision is one of the clearest markers of fall risk. Large clinical trials on older adults link this simple skill to real-world stability. Here is the protocol. Stand at your counter with both feet together, touching side by side. Rest your fingertips lightly on the counter, not gripping. Once you feel settled, close your eyes. Hold for 10 seconds to start and build toward 30 seconds over 2 to 3 weeks. Do 3 rounds, once a day. The common error people make is holding their breath and stiffening, which actually makes you less stable. Breathe slowly and let your ankles make small corrections. Those tiny wobbles are not failure. They are the exercise working. Now the safety setup, because this matters. Always keep the counter within fingertip reach, so a real sway just means you touch down. If you feel yourself leaning hard or stepping, open your eyes immediately and rest your whole hand on the counter. Sharp dizziness means stop, not push through. If you have vertigo or inner ear problems, keep the eyes open version first. Pair this with slow, steady breathing through your nose, because a calm breath steadies the very same inner ear system you are training. The two reinforce each other. A settled breath is a settled balance, but standing still, even with eyes closed, only trains you to hold a position. It does not train you to catch yourself when your weight is already moving, and most falls happen in motion, mid-step, mid-turn. That is exactly what number 4 begins to fix. Number 4 is the weight shift, side to side and front to back. This is where we take your balance out of a frozen pose and teach it to move, which is how real life actually happens. The mechanism here is about your body's ability to move its center of gravity and still stay over your feet. Every step you take is a controlled fall, caught by shifting your weight. As we age, that weight shifting range shrinks, and we start to move as one stiff block. Think of it like a crane loading a ship. A good crane moves its heavy load smoothly and stays balanced the whole time. A rusty one jerks and tips. We are oiling the crane. Physical therapy guidelines for older adults consistently place weight shifting at the foundation of fall prevention programs, because it rebuilds the movement that walking and turning depend on. Here is the protocol. Stand at the counter with your feet hip-width apart, fingertips resting on the edge. Slowly shift your weight onto your right foot, letting the left foot go light without lifting it. Hold for 3 seconds, then shift to the left. Do 10 shifts side to side. Then shift forward onto your toes and back onto your heels 10 times, slow and controlled. The error to avoid is rushing. This is a slow, deliberate exercise, about 2 seconds each direction. Do 1 full round daily and build to 2. For safety, keep your fingertips on the counter throughout and never shift so far that your foot has to step to save you. Stay inside the range you control. If you feel a sharp twinge in a hip or knee, stop and reduce how far you shift. Comfort first, range later. Pair this with the eyes closed, stand from number 5, because one teaches you to hold and the other teaches you to move. Together, they cover both halves of real balance. Stillness and motion, trained side by side. Now, shifting your weight while both feet stay on the floor is the safe first step. But independence really lives in single leg strength, the moment when one foot leaves the ground to take a stair or step over the tub. That is a different and deeper challenge, and it is what number 3 is built for. Number 3 is the single leg stand. This is the exercise that most directly answers the question, can you catch yourself? Every stair, every curb, every step over the edge of the bathtub is a moment on one leg. The mechanism is straightforward and powerful. When you stand on one foot, your hip, knee, and ankle on that side must fire together to hold you level, while the sensors in your foot make hundreds of tiny corrections. This is the exact skill that fails in a stumble. Picture a flagpole in the wind. A well-anchored pole with strong guy wires barely moves in a gust. A loose one whips around. Your standing leg is the pole, and this exercise tightens the wires. Studies on older adults have repeatedly found that the length of time a person can stand on one leg is a strong predictor of future falls and even overall longevity. The ability to hold this position tells you a great deal about how your body will handle the unexpected. Here's the protocol. Stand at the counter with fingertips resting on the edge. Shift your weight onto your left foot and lift your right foot just an inch or two off the floor. Hold for 5 seconds to start and build toward 20 seconds per leg. Do 3 holds on each side, once a day. Always train both legs equally, even if one feels stronger. The error most people make is lifting the foot too high and swinging the knee out. Keep the lift low and the lifted foot close to your standing ankle. That control is the whole point. For safety, this is the exercise where the counter earns its place. Keep your fingertips down, and if you feel yourself tipping, simply set the foot back down and press your hand flat on the counter. No drama, just reset. Never do this one in the middle of the room to test yourself. Sharp pain in the standing hip or knee means stop for the day. If you are having a dizzy day, skip it and come back tomorrow. Pair single leg stands with the weight shifts from number 4 because shifting teaches your body to arrive over one foot smoothly, and the single leg hold teaches it to stay there. One flows into the other. Arrive, then hold. But holding one leg still is only half of what a stair demands. A stair also asks you to move up and down while balanced, to control your body through a change in height. Standing still on one leg cannot teach that. Number 2 takes your balance into that vertical world. Number 2 is the heel-to-toe walk, also called the tandem walk. This is where your balance finally starts to travel, moving in a straight line the way a real hallway or path demands. The mechanism is about narrowing your base of support while moving forward. When you place one foot directly in front of the other, you shrink your stability to a thin line, and your body has to work hard to stay centered over it. This is the same demand as walking through a narrow doorway or along a garden path. Think of it like a train on a track. On a wide, well-kept rail, the train runs smooth and sure. This exercise lays down that rail, teaching your body to travel a straight, confident line instead of a wide, shuffling one. Fall prevention programs used in clinics around the world include the tandem walk as a core drill because it rebuilds the steady, heel-to-toe gait that tends to fade with age. Here is the protocol. Stand at the end or side of your counter so it runs alongside you, giving you a rail to touch the whole way. Place your right heel directly in front of your left toe so they nearly touch. Then step your left foot in front of your right the same way. Take 10 slow steps, pausing a full second on each. Do 2 passes daily. The error people make is looking down at their feet, which throws off balance. Instead, pick a spot ahead at eye level and look at it as you walk. Let your fingertips trail the counter for security. For safety, keep that counter within reach on one side for every single step. If you wobble, pause, plant your hand, and rebalance before the next step. Never rush to finish the line. If a step feels genuinely unsteady, widen your feet slightly and slow down. There is no prize for a perfect line. The goal is control. Pair the tandem walk with the single leg stand from number 3, because one builds the strength to stand on each leg, and the other teaches you to pass through that single leg moment while moving. Strength first, then travel. That is how walking is rebuilt. Now you have 4 exercises that cover holding, shifting, standing, and traveling. But there is one more, and it is the one almost nobody is ever taught. It is the exercise that ties all 4 together and trains the fastest, most important balance skill of all, the recovery. Stay with me, because number 1 can change how you approach the next 10 years. And here it is. Number 1, the exercise almost nobody over 60 is ever taught, the controlled sit to stand with a balance pause. This is the crown of the whole list because it trains the exact moment where independence is won or lost, the moment you rise from a chair and have to catch and hold your balance before you take a step. Let me explain why this one matters more than all the others. Every single day, you stand up from something: a chair, the toilet, the edge of the bed, the car seat. In that instant, your body has to do 3 things at once. It has to generate power to lift you, shift your weight forward over your feet, and then stabilize you upright before you move. Most falls in older adults happen in exactly this transition, not while walking, but in the handful of seconds around standing up and turning. If you train this one moment, you train the most dangerous moment of your day. Here is the mechanism, and it is worth understanding fully. Standing up is a chain reaction. Your legs push, your hips drive forward, your core catches you, and your balance systems lock you in place over your feet. When any link in that chain is weak, your body compensates by grabbing furniture, throwing itself forward, or landing off center and swaying. Think of it like a rocket launch. The engines fire to lift the weight, but it is the guidance system that keeps the rocket upright and on course in those first critical seconds. Most people train only the engines, the leg strength, and completely forget the guidance system, the balance. This exercise trains both at once, the power and the pause. Research on aging and mobility has consistently identified the sit-to-stand movement as one of the strongest measures of both leg strength and fall risk in older adults. Clinicians use timed versions of this exact movement to predict who is likely to lose independence. It is one of the most studied and trusted markers in all of geriatric medicine, precisely because it captures strength and balance together in one honest test. Now here is the protocol, and this is the fullest one on the list, so stay with me. Start with a sturdy, armless chair placed near your counter, so the counter is within reach on one side. Sit toward the front of the chair with your feet flat, about hip width apart, pulled slightly back toward you. Cross your arms over your chest if you can, or keep one fingertip near the counter for security. Now stand up slowly, over a count of 3, pushing through your heels. Here's the part that makes this exercise special. Once you are fully standing, pause and hold your balance for a full 3 seconds before you sit back down. That pause is where the magic lives, because it forces your balance systems to stabilize you, exactly as they must in real life. Then lower yourself back down slowly, over a count of 3, with control, not a drop. Do 5 to 8 repetitions once a day and build toward 10. The error nearly everyone makes is rushing, using momentum to pop up and flop down. Slow is what builds the control. If 5 is too many, do 3 perfect ones. Quality over quantity, always. Now the safety setup, because power exercises deserve respect. Keep the counter within reach on one side the entire time, so if you feel unsteady on the stand, you have a rail. Use a chair that will not slide, against a wall if you can. Never use a chair with wheels. If you cannot yet stand without pushing on your knees or the counter, that is completely fine. Use your hands to help and let your legs take a little more each week. Sharp pain in the knees or hips means stop and reduce how low you sit. And if you feel lightheaded on standing, which can happen with blood pressure, pause and hold the counter until it passes. If you take blood pressure medication, talk to your doctor before changing anything about how you rise. Pair this crown exercise with the single leg stand from number 3 and the weight shifts from number 4, because together they build every piece this movement needs. The shifts teach your weight to move forward, the single leg work builds the strength to hold, and this exercise unites them in the one motion you do most. This is the exercise that gathers all the others into a single daily, life-protecting habit. And this is the payoff I promised you at the very start. Because when you train the sit to stand with a balance pause, you are not just doing an exercise. You are rehearsing the exact moment that decides whether you stay in your own home. Master this one movement, practice it every day, and you change how the next 10 years unfold, from a slow narrowing of what you dare to do into a life where you rise, you steady yourself, and you walk on. That is what nobody tells you. That is what this one can do. Consider a typical case documented in the rehabilitation literature. A 74-year-old woman who had already had 2 near falls in her own kitchen, both times while turning from the counter to the table. She had started holding onto the walls to move around her house. She had stopped going down to her garden because the back step frightened her. Her world had quietly shrunk to the rooms she felt safe in, and she had begun to believe that this was simply what getting older meant. She was given the exact kind of program you have just learned. Feet together, holds to wake up her foot sensors, daily weight shifts at the counter, single leg stands, just 5 seconds at first, the tandem walk along her hallway. And every day, the sit to stand with a balance pause, starting with just 3 slow repetitions. Nothing fancy, no gym, no equipment beyond a chair and a countertop. 10 minutes a day. done where she already lived. Within about 8 weeks, the change was clear and measurable. Her single leg hold went from under 2 seconds to over 15. She could rise from her chair without pushing off the armrest. Most importantly, she let go of the walls. She went back down to her garden, one careful step at a time, and then without thinking about it at all. Her world grew back to its full size. That is what training balance actually buys you. Not just fewer falls, but your life back. So here is your action matrix. Simple, specific, starting today. Tonight, do one thing only. Stand at your counter with your feet together and hold for 10 seconds, 3 times. That is your start. This week, add the weight shifts and the single leg stands, doing 10 shifts and 3 holds per leg each day. By week 2, add the tandem walk, 10 heel-to-toe steps twice a day along your counter. By week 3, bring in the crown, 5 sit-to-stands with a 3-second balance pause every morning. And from then on, do all 5 as one 10-minute daily round, the same way you brush your teeth, without negotiation. Now think of someone in your life who has started holding onto the furniture when they move around their home. A parent, a partner, a friend. Send them this video today because 10 minutes a day at a kitchen counter might be the thing that keeps them in their own home for years longer. That share could matter more than you know. And tell me in the comments which of these 5 you are starting tonight. Your answers decide exactly what I cover next. If this channel keeps earning it, subscribe, because giving seniors the science that a rushed appointment never has time for is the entire reason this channel exists. This video is education, not a diagnosis. Your own doctor knows your history, so bring this list to your next appointment. I'm Laura Bennett. Don't forget to subscribe and live longer.